Okay, so we've all talked to an AI, right? You ask it a question, it spits back an answer. But what if AI could do more than just talk? What if it could actually do things for you? Well, that's the huge leap we're taking with what we call AI agents. This is a shift that's not just about conversation, it's about completion. So let's break down what this is and how it's already changing, well, everything. And really, this one slide says it all. We're moving from AI as a knowledge provider, basically a super smart encyclopedia, to an AI agent that is a task completer. Think of it this way. It's the difference between asking a chef for a recipe and just telling the chef to go ahead and cook the entire meal for you. It's a massive difference.
So let's get into it. What exactly is an AI agent? Well, at its heart, it's about completely changing how we interact with our technology. We're going from being micromanagers who have to spell out every single little step to becoming more like leaders who just state the final desired goal.
And that word right there, autonomous, that's everything. An AI agent doesn't just sit around and wait for you to tell it what to do next. You give it an end goal, and it works backwards. It creates its own plan, it figures out which tools it needs for the job, and then it goes and executes that plan all by itself, from start to finish. It's a self-directed problem solver. Here's where it gets really practical. With the chat AI we're all used to, you're the project manager, right? You're breaking down the task. Okay, first, write this email. Now, search for flights. Okay, now find me a hotel. But with an AI agent, you just give it the mission. Arrange my business trip for next week. And that's it. The agent becomes the project manager, handling all those little details for you. So let's actually walk through what this looks like. Let's say you give an agent a pretty complex goal, like creating a smartphone market report. It doesn't just start writing blindly. First, it deconstructs the task. It makes a logical plan. Then, it starts executing that plan. It's searching the web, pulling data into a spreadsheet, even making graphs. And here's the really crucial part. It then verifies its own work, checking for gaps and refining what it found. Only when it's satisfied that the job is done right does it deliver that final report to you. See, this isn't just automation. It's a whole self-contained workflow. So how in the world can a single program manage all of that? What's actually going on under the hood? Well, it really boils down to four main components that work together to create what you could call the agent's mind. First up, you have the brain. This is the core engine for all its reasoning and decision-making. It's usually a powerful large language model, an LLM. The brain is what lets the agent understand what you're asking, make sense of complex problems, and make those strategic judgments about how to move forward. Next, you've got planning. Think of this as the agent's inner strategist. It takes a big, messy goal, like plan my trip, and breaks it down into a neat, logical sequence of smaller, doable steps. It's the architect that draws up the blueprint for success before any work even begins. Then there's memory. And this is absolutely critical. You can't have autonomy without it. Short-term memory gives it context for what it's doing right now, while long-term memory lets it remember past projects and learn from experience. Without memory, an agent would just be starting from zero every single time. And finally, we get to the real game changer, tool use. If the brain, planning, and memory are the agent's mind, then tools are its hands. This is the part that turns all that internal thinking into external action. It's the ability to actually use a web browser, to actually send an email, to put something on your calendar, or to run a piece of code. Tool use is the bridge from thinking to doing. Okay, so we have the basic blueprint for an agent: brain, planning, memory, tools. But the power of that agent, how much it can actually do, depends entirely on the quality of its brain. And to really understand where this is all headed, we need to zoom out and look at the three major ages of AI evolution. Now, this is a really important point to get right. It's crucial to separate these two ideas. The AI agent describes the form. It's the autonomous system itself. But ANI, AGI, and ASI, that describes the intelligence level of the brain inside that system. So you can think of the agent as the car, and the intelligence level is the engine that determines how far and how fast that car can go. This timeline kind of maps out the journey. Right now, up until around 2030, we are living in the age of ANI, or artificial narrow intelligence. These agents are amazing, but they're specialists. They're experts at very specific things. But sometime around 2030, the prediction is we'll enter the age of AGI, artificial general intelligence, where agents can perform pretty much any intellectual task a human can. And then, looking even further out, past 2040, we get into the theoretical realm of ASI, artificial superintelligence, an intellect that would just be vastly beyond our own. And when you lay it all out like this, the jump in what these agents can do is just staggering. Today's AI agent needs a really clear goal to automate a procedure, but a future AGI agent, it could work with just a vague intention, making its own complex decisions to manage a whole area of your life. But an ASI agent, well, that's on another level entirely. It wouldn't just follow instructions, it might anticipate our needs before we even have them. It wouldn't just solve problems, it might redesign our systems so those problems never happen in the first place. So what does this all mean for us? What's the end game here? We're watching technology make a fundamental shift. For decades, AI has been a tool, a program stuck inside a box on our screen. The AI agent is how that intelligence finally breaks out of the box to become an active participant in our world. In the current AI era that we're in, we're basically building a world of incredibly powerful, convenient tools. These agents are becoming the new foundation of how work gets done. They automate the how so that we can finally focus on the what. And this isn't some far-off promise. This is the productivity revolution that's happening right now. But that next leap to AGI changes the whole relationship. It goes from user and tool to equal partners. Imagine being able to delegate not just a task, but an entire role to an AI, your business manager, your personal chief of staff. This is an intelligence that can handle ambiguity and strategize with the same skill as a human expert. And then you get to the far future of ASI. And look, this is definitely more speculative, but the idea is just so profound. A potential guardian intelligence. An AI that doesn't just manage a company, but could help us tackle the biggest challenges on a global scale. Things like climate change or optimizing entire economies. The relationship would shift again from a personal partner to maybe a planetary scale manager. For so long, we've thought of AI as a program and lives inside a computer. But the agent is the vehicle that lets AI step out of that computer and act in the world. We're watching it evolve from a tool to a partner and maybe eventually to something more. AI is on a path to becoming an autonomous member of our society. And that leaves all of us with one really big question. Are we ready for that?